Tom Hanks starred in the movie The Post. One of Hollywood's most loved and award-winning stars returns to the big screen in Steven Spielberg's historical, dramatic film set during the Pentagon Papers publication in The Washington Post, 1971.
At the cinema these days. Tom Hanks, the unforgettable Forrest Gump of Robert Zemeckis' film, was born in 1956 and remains in America the most loved actor for young and old, also because he gives the voice to Woody in Toy Story, of which he is just at this time turning the 4th round. For the first time in the course of his beautiful and rich career as an actor, producer and sometimes director, in The Post by Steven Spielberg, Hanks plays with Meryl Streep, and as the actress in the political and journalistic thriller is the editor of The Washington Post. Tom, in the role of the editor of the newspaper and with a cigarette in his hand, there were no computers, he smoked and newspapers, put his feet on the tables reading the computing press, must discuss with her every important decision.
It was a great experience for me, this film, he tells in his beautiful and sunny house between Santa Monica and Pacific Palisades, and I am proud of it because he proposes fundamental themes yesterday and today: the freedom of the press, the ethical commitment in the work of the journalism, the courage of correct information.
As a collector of ancient typewriters, everyone enjoyed and engaged him in the film without however distracting him from being close to his beloved wife, Rita, who has fought her battle for cancer in recent years. He says, first of all, The Post is a film on the side of citizens, who always and without reticence must be informed by avoiding that the newspapers for various reasons and interests cover the often uncomfortable truths of power.
Everything about this film involved me, and then, at the first screening that Steven wanted in Westwood, the University District of Los Angeles, among so many young people, I was really proud of our social thriller.
Because I consider this film Do you read the newspapers?
Every morning I read the Los Angeles Times and the New York Times, not on the computer, but on paper, and it's a habit I'll never lose.
Is there a moment in the film that you particularly like?
It's the one where the Washington Post is being rotated and then the bundles of rope-bound newspapers are delivered everywhere. The most authentic journalism acquires at that moment all its aims and its duties.
How did you prepare for the director's role?
I have numerous journalist friends. I talked a lot with them, and then, I immersed myself in the search for the truths that Spielberg's film scrupulously tells by risking a lot and courageously to awe the daily staff.
The presses have a precise meaning in the film, and it almost seems to smell the press, the newspapers that every morning, yesterday and today, should accompany our lives as citizens.
I really and deeply love Steven's film. In itself it is an act of courage, independent information.
She has had everything from her job as an actor, has won 2 Oscars for significant films like Philadelphia and Forrest Gump, 4 Golden Globes and other awards.
What does he still ask for acting?
Stimuli, curiosity, passion.
I I read the scripts carefully, I choose them with equal scruple, and I like to change roles, even move from fantasy to drama, from comedies to thrillers, and I conquer the voice of some nice animated film.
Acting, I do not get tired. It has always been a fundamental part of my simple life, and never as a star, but as a film professional. I would be very sad if I could no longer act.
What memory do you have of the beginnings of your career?
I debuted on television. Everything was exciting for me and a discovery.
I loved and I also love music. I was young, but not very young, and when I won the first Oscar at 38, I thought that all my work finally had the recognition I wanted.
No one in my family had ever acted, but for me it was and remains a vocation, and I love cinema as a spectator.
For me, it is always a joy to enter a cinema, a real hall, to see a new film.
She has recently published 2 good books of short stories, Uncommon Types, also released in Italy thanks to Bompiani.
Do you want to talk about it?
It was a labor of love for writing on my part.
Writing is a solitary activity. The actors live in the confusion of the sets, between colleagues and technicians.
For me, the book was a beautiful and much desired thing, which has taken me and involved me more and more, and that I will continue to do because I feel the need to transform thoughts, fantasies and encounters into words, beyond any critical judgments, which was also severe with me. Why did you dedicate the book to the director and writer Nora Ephron?
Nora was the daughter of screenwriters and writers. She loved cinema and books.
He has directed special films for me and I love them, as Insomnia d'Amore and There's Mail for You.
It was 1993 when we shot this movie with Meg Ryan.
Our 2 characters met in a New York bookshop, then they wrote and mailed.
It is still, in my opinion, a wonderful romantic comedy about life and human relationships, and remains one of my favorite films.
More than Save Spielberg, Private Ryan.
They are 2 different and fundamental films in my career. Like many others, I think of Il Milieu at Castaway, at Apollo 13, directed by my great friend Ron Howard. All the films I have interpreted for me have many meanings. Just remember Sully by Clint Eastwood and the recent Spielberg Spy Bridge.
I played direct by the best and most brilliant directors. Every film, I just remember Charlie Wilson's War of the Great, Mike Nichols and Cloud Atlas of the Wachowski brothers. He gave me a lot and I never rank.
Returning to the post, what hope can you give to the new generations? The fundamental importance of intellectual independence and the courage of one's actions.
If you close your eyes and think back to all your films, is there any image that has remained etched in your heart? I think of myself with the child protagonist of Very Strong, Incredibly Close, based on a good novel by Jonathan Safran Foer, and with me in the cast there were Sandra Bullock, Viola Davis, Max von Sydow.
The protagonist boy was 9 years old in 2011, and at the end he decided to write a book with a title that is the same as that of the film.
The very young character was shy and introverted, as I was when I was a child, but the acting always helped me to express myself.
The film was set during the September 2001 attacks on the Twin Towers. And a young boy made a journey through the city that helped him grow while looking for a road in a way of opening up to life.
Returning to the Post, which has 2 Academy Award nominations.
What do you think is your most important current affair?
It is a love letter to true journalism and from the past to today.
The Washington Post journalists in the film are loyal to their readers, to the truth. They put the Nixon administration in the bar and have a woman, Meryl Streep, at the helm as a newspaper editor.
All challenge the prison, the career, the fate of their newspaper.
I consider the film a very modern reportage of war, which also relies on the strength of feelings and the courage of a woman. It should be projected into schools, and I am convinced about this, and I appeal for my wish to come true.